What's up, guys? Today we're talking about the Numb Fingers Vex build. A lot of you guys might know this build as the Bloodshot build, or I'm sure there's other names for it, but I'm calling this the Numb Fingers build because somebody in chat named Numb Fingers during my live stream put me on this build, and it is absolutely disgusting. So that's what I'm calling it in honor of Numb Fingers. He a G for real. And just jumping straight into the video, again, kind of like my Rafa build video, I'm gonna try not to get stuck on one skill or explaining stuff too much. So we're gonna go through here kind of quickly. If anything, I'm gonna try to do it a little bit faster than the Rafa one. So getting straight into the skills, you're gonna take 5 hits of Grave Sights, which this is literally just going to give you increased critical hit damage and gun handling as a kill skill, so that's really, really nice. It's literally just free damage for killing shit. Then you're going to go down and take 5 hits of Grave Implements, which is another kill skill that's literally just going to give you increased gun damage for a duration. Another just flat damage bonus for literally proccing kill skills. Whether or not that means actually killing an enemy or doing something else to proc your kill skills, this is just a nasty bonus. In the middle of the skill tree, just to the left of that, you are going to grab 3 hits of Bloodletter. This is just the classic Vex bleed skill that everybody hypes up and loves so much. Essentially just allowing you to cause a bleed status effect that does damage over time if you hit a critical hit. Going down in the skill tree further, we have Grave Power, which this literally just lets you get more kill skill stacks. So all of your other kill skills that we're going to be talking about are essentially just better. That's the most basic way to think about it. You can get more stacks, which means they're going to benefit you more. And then down into the middle tree, you're going to want to take 5 hits of Drink Full, which essentially just means anytime you deal gun damage, you're going to gain a stack of Drink Full, which gives you more fire rate. So if you're just sitting there milking a boss or damaging an enemy or whatever you might be doing, you're going to gain these stacks and get better fire. It's pretty cool. It's super easy, super free damage. It's just more fire rate. More bullets means more damage, you know what I mean? Right next to that, we are going to take the Witchy Trigger Finger Augment, which essentially if you hit an enemy with this, you pop your ability and you hit an enemy with this is going to refill your gun. Now this does 2 things. If it's a mag-fed weapon, it is going to just refill your mag. If it is a gun that works off of like a heat meter, so if it can overheat, all it's going to do is prevent you from overheating. It's going to kind of reset your heat, so to speak. This is also going to give you another stacking bonus, which just increases your gun damage for a duration. So literally just popping your ability and spamming this is not only going to help you not have to reload, but this is also going to just give you more damage. Right below that, we're going to take 5 hits of Mortal Terror, which this is literally just a chance to activate your kill skills when critically hitting enemies. So all of these kill skills that are giving you tons of extra bonus damage and all that kind of good stuff, literally just hitting crits, this is going to proc all of your kill skills. So it's super, super nice. Now, even with 5 points, you do see that it says kill skill trigger chance is only 5%. But if you are using certain weapons with either a ton of pellets or really fast fire rate, like we're going to be in this build, that 5% chance procs very, very often. And right below that, we are going to take the Vibe Check Capstone, which the majority of the reason we're going to take this is because of that cooldown reduction at the bottom there. So this is going to allow you to throw your ability more often, allowing you to refresh your ammo and deal extra damage and all that good stuff. Getting over into the right side of the green tree, you're going to take 5 hits of Grave Vitality, which again, this is another kill skill, which is going to give you maximum health capacity and health regen. So this is also just a freebie for, you know, survivability. And also we have a couple other skills that are going to help with damage based off health, so it's just really, really nice to have. Then down a row in the middle here, we're going to take 5 hits of Bloodshot, which this is what the entire build is based around. Essentially, this is where a ton of your damage is going to come from. So when you use a rep kit, your next gunshot will become a Bloodshot, converting damage dealt into kinetic damage and dealing bonus damage based on your current health. So the more health you have, the more damage you're getting out of this. And if you get a good class mod with a good roll on this, where you get all 5 points in there, you are literally going to get 100% of your health as bonus damage. So this is really, really nice. Right next to that, you're also going to take 5 hits of Essence Leech, which is just going to give you life steal, and it's going to double the effect while an action skill is active. This is another really good one for survivability again. And right under that, you are going to take 3 hits of Blood as Power, which is going to give you bonus kinetic damage with guns based on your current life steal when your health is full. So you get 300% bonus damage based off your life steal if your health is full. This is also pretty huge for damage. And that's going to about do it for green tree. Moving on over to red tree, there's no blue tree, it's just red and green. You are going to take 5 hits of enchantment, which is literally just going to give you a flat 37.5% bonus kinetic damage while your action skill is active. So all you have to do is pop your action skill and spam it, and you're essentially going to constantly refresh your ammo, give yourself bonus damage, and have bonus damage going just from having your action skill going to begin with. Getting over into the actual gear and the weapons and stuff for the build, there are 2 main weapons you're going to need for this build. The first one, this is really, really big, is the BOD or the BOD shotgun. The reason that this is very huge for the build is because if you read the stat right there where it says all-arounder, it counts as literally every single weapon type in the game, which includes snipers, of course. So all of these sniper bonuses that this build is based around are going to apply to the BOD, which makes this thing filthy. Now, I would recommend getting 2 different versions of the BOD. Get one that takes sniper ammo and get one that takes assault rifle ammo. The reason for this is if you're doing bossing with it or any kind of like single target damage where their crit is a little bit smaller, it's nice to have that tighter pattern from the sniper variant. But for general mobbing, I like to use the assault rifle one because it doesn't consume as much ammo. You have to think you're going to be burning through sniper ammo really fast with this thing if you use the sniper variant. So I like to run the assault rifle mode because you get tons of extra ammo, but it's also still very tight on the spread, so it's nice and easy to hit a lot of pellets on one crit, you know what I mean? So I'd recommend getting those two versions. And then the other really huge weapon for this build is going to be the Finity Triple XL Sniper. Now the roll for this doesn't matter. I honestly don't even know if you can get a different roll. It may or may not be a stagnant roll, but all you really need is a Finity Sniper with a COV mag. But like I said, I'm pretty sure they always roll with a COV mag. This has piping hot on it, so it does not consume ammo while overheating. Those of you that know, you know, this is pretty much the closest thing to the Infinity pistol from other Borderlands games that we have in Borderlands 4. And we're going to be synergizing that with our enhancement down here, which all you really need for this enhancement, all that really matters is that duct tape roll that you can see at the top there. So this is a COV enhancement. Guns with a COV licensed magazine have a 100% chance to deal critical damage while overheating. Now, of course, if you have a crit knife, this is irrelevant, but the cool part about this is that I feel like these are significantly more common than a knife, but this is essentially going to do the same thing. So you synergize that with, of course, this weapon here. When it's overheating, it does not consume ammo, and you have a lot of free bullets that are doing a lot of free crits. And of course, when you're running your BOD or your BOD, whatever you want to call it, you could throw something like a Hyperion enhancement on that gives you bonus damage and bonus stats for that, or whatever parts you have. If you happen to get a BOD that rolls with Torg or something, you could go for, you know, one of these, like a Torg type of enhancement. But no matter what you're going with here, you can always swap it out when you're running your BOD for mobbing. I mostly only really use the Finity for bossing because it does obviously go through a lot of ammo and you don't get that much sniper ammo to begin with, but this thing will absolutely milk just about any boss in the game. So not even just about, it will milk every boss in the game, let's be real. Anyway, but I pretty much strictly run this COV duct tape enhancement, which I know mine does not have a good roll on it. SMG fire rate, SMG status, gun reload speed, pretty much worthless rolls. The only thing I'm benefiting from here is that duct tape roll, which is huge. But if you can get a better roll on this, then absolutely, by all means, you'll be doing more damage than me. And then of course, I always have that extra one. This one doesn't have a crazy roll either, but I always have at least two of these I like to swap back and forth from, depending on if I'm doing a lot of mobbing or bossing or whatever I'm doing. Grenade ordnance does not play a very big role in this build whatsoever, so you can just do whatever you want. You can see here I do have a knife, but this is not a crit knife. This is strictly a damage amp payload knife. It's not a crit knife. I haven't gotten a crit knife on this character, but even damage amp, that's going to literally boost your damage by a free 15%, so why not? I just have that on there. I throw it at him. It's the same thing as a crit knife essentially, but you don't get guaranteed crits. You get the damage amp. But honestly, because of the duct tape and the Finity kind of synergy that you have going on, it's essentially like having a crit knife when you hit him with this because you're getting the amp and the guaranteed crit. Moving on to the rep kit, this is again kind of personal preference. I would recommend amp, but at the same time, all of these weapons we're using are pretty rapid fire weapons, so amp isn't going to be a big necessity. However, what I would recommend is enrage. If you can get one with enrage on it, this is literally going to give you a flat 30% damage buff for 8 seconds. It is going to increase the damage that you take, but between all of the HP you have on this build, as well as your HP regen and lifesteal and everything, that extra 15% is not going to matter really, I promise. That extra 30% damage is huge though, so if you can get that, that's cool. Of course, if you can get something like the triple bypass, that'd be cool. I have a triple bypass with amp. If you get a triple bypass with enrage on it, that would be probably even better for this build in specific. If you go over into the specializations tree and you go into the daredevil stat and you get the now with caffeine, you can literally instantly get your ability back just from spamming your rep kit essentially. So that is the cool part about the triple bypass. I don't really use it. I don't even have my specialization spec'd into that, but I still have it on backup if I decide to do that. Mostly though, as long as you have that enrage stat, this build is going to do phenomenal. Even without it, it's going to do great, but that enrage stat, it's literally just free damage. You can't go wrong. Getting into the shield, I'm running the new Timekeeper's shield, or the Timekeeper's new shield, whatever you want to call it. This just gives you a bunch of extra max health, a bunch of extra regen, and reduces damage taken by 33%. And again, remember, you are getting damage. You're getting extra damage from your skills based off of your max health. So this thing literally just boosts your max health, which is essentially boosting your damage. So think about it that way. Not only is this shield really good for survivability, but it is also helping to boost the fuck out of your damage. So this is a super good option. And then right next to it for the class mod, this is what brings the build all together. This is the bread and butter. Without this build literally does not function. This is the Undead Eye Siren class mod. Now essentially what this is going to do is allow you to proc Bloodshot without having to hit your rep kit. So it kind of turns it into both a kill skill and getting crits gives you a chance to proc it, which is absolutely disgusting. Now preferably you want to get one with all 5 points into Bloodshot so that you get that full 10 out of 5 Bloodshot. You are going to be losing out on tons of damage if you don't do this. I did test it. You can get one with a crit roll, so you can see mine has extra sniper damage and action skill cooldown rate. I even tried one that had the full 45% 25% sniper rifle damage roll, which from what I know, the sniper rifle damage is a stagnant roll. It's always going to be on there. But I had one roll with that and crit damage. And I was like, oh, well, it only had 3 points into Bloodshot, but it has the extra crit, so it's got to, like, kind of bridge the gap, right? It's got to cover the difference. No. The crit variance and all that stuff still do significantly less damage than what you will get out of the extra Bloodshot points, so always try to go for one with those extra Bloodshot points. That second skill really doesn't matter. All that's going to do is give you rep kit cooldown, so I guess that's kind of nice, but again, that doesn't necessarily matter. It's just kind of a little bonus. And then for the firmware, you're going to want to go with 3 hits of Deadeye. This is going to be for that second tier that gives you a flat critical hit damage bonus, as well as that last third tier that gives you stacking critical hit damage. This is a necessity for this build. This is going to push this thing over the edge and make it absolutely cracked, so you really want the 3 tiers of Deadeye. Next, I would highly recommend the 2 hits of Heating Up. What this is going to do is for COV weapons in particular, not only is it going to increase your reload speed, but it is also going to increase the amount of shots that you get off by 50% before it breaks, which means with this Finity XXL, I was getting off on average 40 to about 60 shots after overheating before it would break and I'd have to reload, versus now I'm pushing upwards of like 80. So this thing is absolutely super good for helping you get bonus damage, because remember guys, because of this synergy over here, unless your gun is overheating with the duct tape, you're not getting your crits. So the longer you can keep this gun overheating, the more damage you're getting off. And of course, none of this even matters if you're running the crit knife. But assuming you don't have a crit knife for this build, that is an absolute necessity. And honestly, if you do have a crit knife that you can throw on instead of this, just fuck the duct tape. Don't even worry about the duct tape. Run something else that'll boost your damage even more. You know what I mean? This is a Vladoff. Maybe run like a Vladoff thing. It's got Hyperion parts, whatever you want to do. And getting into kind of a quick breakdown on how you're going to play this build, guys. This build is absolutely disgusting. It doesn't really take a whole lot of effort. Literally, all you're going to do if you want the max amount of damage, you don't have to do all of this if you just want good enough damage to get through the game with little to no struggle. But if you want max damage out of this build, this is going to be your rotation. Okay, you are going to pop your main ability. Okay, you're going to pop your action skill to where you have your little orb floating in your hand. You are then going to pop your rep kit for that 30% extra damage on Enrage, and then you are going to throw your throwing knife for that extra 15% damage. Or do it either way around. It honestly doesn't really matter. You could throw the knife and then pop the rep kit. It doesn't really matter. But you're going to pop your action skill, use both of these, and then you are going to tear into the boss with the Finity XXL. Once you start overheating, assuming you have both tiers of Heating Up, once you see your gun's fired counter in the bottom right corner by your ammo, it'll tell you this many shots fired since overheating. Once that gets to around 60 or so, you're going to throw your ability at the boss. As long as you don't miss, that's going to reset your overheating timer to where you have to kind of charge back up a little bit, and then you start overheating and you can continually get those crits for a couple seconds and then throw your thing. The majority of bosses are going to die within like maybe 1 to 2 rotations of doing that. It is absolutely filthy, but even assuming you don't want to do that, you could ignore throwing your ability at the boss altogether. Just let your gun overheat. As long as you have both tiers of Heating Up, you will get so many shots off before your gun breaks, and you'll be dealing so much damage that there's a pretty damn good chance the boss is already dead before your gun breaks anyway. And as far as mobbing with the bod shotgun goes, it's pretty straightforward. Throw on your enhancement for your Hyperion or whatever part you have on here that you want to boost. Run around and shoot stuff in the head. It really is that simple, guys. Again, specializations, they're more of a bonus. I know I missed this part on my Rafa build. It doesn't crazy matter what you're going for here. Of course, these are going to boost your damage to some level, but even just where I'm at here, guys, even without the specializations, because I barely spec'd into the specializations right at the end of my playthrough. Even without the specializations, this build shreds. UVH5 content, if you want to see it, at the last little bit that I played her on my latest stream, you can see me milking bosses on UVH5 of this, killing them literally within like 5-10 seconds of dropping in the arena. It is disgusting. But I will quickly show the specializations. I'm running Lead or Alive, Down But Not Out, Riddle You This, and In the Zone. Lead or Alive is just nice for if you go down, you get that extra bullet or two, whatever you might be, you know what I mean? It's nice to have the gun fresh and reloaded so you don't have to wait for a reload animation that kills your fight for your life meter. Down But Not Out is just nice because, again, if you do happen to go down, you can ADS and hit way more shots and not be so inaccurate. Riddle You This is going to literally just give you stacking gun damage, so that is honestly really nice. In the Zone is just going to give you extra damage and critical hit damage per second just for ADSing. So aiming down your sights. If you aim your your gun, you deal extra damage. If you deal gun damage, you get extra damage. And then these top two are literally just to help you for if you happen to go into fight for your life. Again, even with none of these, the build is still absolutely busted, guys. So you don't even really have to worry about this. But if you care about it, there you go. You can do that if you want to. You can change it however you want to. All in all, that's the build, guys. So if you enjoyed the video, do let me know. I do plan on making more build videos like this when we get done with our other characters. We still got to get through Amon and Harlow. We're on our Amon right now. So if you want to check that out and watch us as we play through the game and do some build crafting and farming and all that stuff on our Amon, go check me out. Make sure you got notifications turned on and you should see when I'm live. I'm usually live from around 4 in the morning Central Time to around 10 to 11 in the morning, again, US Central Time. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, what you might have done differently for the build, or if you agree that it's just absolutely busted as is. And I'll see you guys later. Love you. Bye.